Yeezy.
All right, so Yeezy is definitely a friend of the channel, and Cardi B is clapping back at
Oh,
Yeezy's comp. So Cardi B is clapping back at a leak of Yeezy audio,
mm,
in which she is alleging that Cardi B is a conspiratorial plant.
that's right. Good
He is
word.
alleging that Cardi B, yeah, because I don't want to use the I word. I don't know if the video will get flagged for that, but we'll
Nah, you
see.
good.
But yeah, so years ago, Kanye was making a documentary, and one of the scenes that was left on the cutting room floor of his documentary was this audio slash video in which he is saying Cardi B is an industry plant, and that she has no talent, and she's making all of this music to try and
Uh-oh.
control people and all of this kind of stuff. And Cardi B is not a fan of that. So we are obviously going to talk about that real quick. But first, because we got to do that, we are going to play this brief clip for context purposes here. So here is a rundown of this particular situation. And it's a bit odd too, because since this is several years ago, that the origination of this clip is several years ago, but in that time since then, they've collaborated with one another. Kanye has been on a song that's featured Cardi B and whatnot. So it's interesting to see this sort of in hindsight play out. But here we go. So check this out.
Interesting.
That's why Cardi B is over there. Cardi B is a plant by the Illuminati. She don't write her raps. She's just there to sound as ignorant as possible.
Kanye West accuses Cardi B of being an Illuminati plant in resurfaced footage, and the rapper has already hit back with a strong message.
And let me keep it cute. And to my haters and to y'all that want to see mess, leave me the alone. Because I come with receipts. I come with receipts, years old receipts.
Cardi B responded to West with his own words, tweeting a 2022 clip of him speaking highly of her and her talent.
It is.
Put her there. And now she doesn't know what to do.
West said Cardi B was unaware her success was manufactured to upend Nicki Minaj's fame.
Love Cardi B. Don't bring Belcalis. Leave me there.
Whoa.
All right. So he said that she was brought on as a plant to end Nicki Minaj's fame or her run, and he said that she's just made to sound as ignorant as possible, and she doesn't write her own raps, and she's a plant, and so on and so forth. And she doesn't appreciate his comments all that much. But what do you think about that?
Well, so here's my thing with Ye. So yeah, he used the I word, but I think it's safe enough to say that there's corporate interests who have, much like the last topic, corporate interests who have I would say an agenda to push their products. Let's say that. Part of them pushing their product is pushing the most debaucherous types of things out there. All right. I remember we covered a situation where he said that Lizzo is here so that the obese community doesn't feel motivated to actually lose their unhealthy weight. All right. So stick with me, people. So I'm a person that went through a lot of rabbit holes of conspiracies, wore a lot of different types of tinfoil hats. All right. So I feel as though I came out on the other side with a little residue, but I still came out on the other side seeing things a little bit less shadowy. And I put them in terms that make a lot more sense for me. All right. So as I mentioned, these corporate entities, they are pushing a degenerative form of entertainment out there. Now, why are they doing this? Well, they know humans are animals. So when I'm going somewhere with this, stick with me, guys. So humans are animals. I'm inclined to believe, nature versus nurture, blah, 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 is both going on. All right. But when people are born, they're basically like blank CDs. All right. And whatever is getting recorded on that CD, that's the music that's going to play later. All right. So, but at a baseline, that blank CD is animal. And then you have to train an animal to not shit on itself, how to eat properly, how to walk, how to talk. So there's a lot of stuff that you have to tell a child to not be in its animal form. Now, this is just behavioral stuff like whoop-de-whoop. But also what comes is when they actually develop, is actually, what we like to call morals or social norms and stuff like that, where people have to elevate past their animal side to actually have compassion, empathy, and other things that aren't natural, in the sense of it's people have to learn that behavior. And that's the elders' job, to show the younger generation to not be the animal form of themselves. So I bring that up, all that up to say, all right, is that as a baseline, humans are animals. So when these corporate entities start to try to shoot stuff at us for us to consume, they talk to the most primal parts of us. All right. So that's dopamine rushes. That's feel good about yourself. That's, hey, man, don't self-improve. Just keep on going. And the animal part, that registers with the animal part. So what they do is these corporate things say, hey, if you are more in your animal nature, you're more inclined to buy from us.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a system of them constantly saying, hey, do not be the best version of yourself. That's why we can't slut shame. That's why we can't air quote body shame. All right. That's why we can't do any of this stuff nowadays, speak on topics that would actually, if the person actually heard it, would actually self-improve. So we are told not to give people critiques about themselves or, whatever, to help them elevate past their animal nature. All right. So the cool thing about humans is, well, we can elevate past our animal nature, but it is still an animal nature, I would argue. And for people who are lacking that development, whether it's from their parents or it's from ingesting too much trash called media and entertainment, that they have now become this person who is trained to now want more filth and garbage. So I got a lot more to say on stuff like that, but I want to remove it from the sense of, whoop-de-whoop, sacrificing and all this other stuff. No, it's a little bit more practical than that, in my opinion. And I think it's the hey, keep feeding them garbage so they are incapacitated as people. And if they're incapacitated as people, they're more likely keep buying from me or my homeboys over there that I got to share their stuff in. So a lot to that. But how do you feel about this whole dynamic? I went in a different direction, but how do you feel about how Ye feels about Miss Cardi B here?
Yeah, I don't think that you went into a way off direction. I think that was pretty in line with what it is. You can say what you want about Kanye in terms of his eccentricities, but and see, the thing is, people, what's going to happen is, and you did well to make it not about focusing on the conspiracy aspect of it, because what people are going to do is fixate on his comments in terms of the conspiracy point. Right. When I think if you just remove that particular element, what he's saying is not only incorrect, but something that's been going on for a long time anyway. Like, we did a video talking about Meek Mill, where Meek Mill was at a speaking engagement saying that hip hop pays more for ignorant content.
Right.
This is a rapper, and he said that.
Right.
So, he's acknowledging rappers make more money. They sign bigger deals when their content is laced with ignorance, because they want to be able to create a particular type of propaganda that can speak to a large enough percentage of population to get them to act in a particular manner.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do with, well, it is a form of brainwashing, in my opinion, but still, removing it from mind control, brainwashing, and all of that stuff, it's to have people be more susceptible to making purchasing choices. This is about the dollar, bro. It's about economics. So what Kanye is saying is not wrong. It's like Meek Mill's acknowledged hip hop pays to be ignorant.
Mhm.
The industry of the music industry, hip hop in particular, sort of is one in which it is sort of mandated for there to be an increased amount of ignorant content, because said ignorant content, if exposed to a large enough amount of people, can give corporate interests, sponsors, advertisers a large enough exposure to whatever it is that they're selling to get people to buy it. So I really do think that this is about following the money. It's a money rabbit hole more. Well, I mean, it can be a conspiracy rabbit hole if you want it to be, but it can be, but more so than anything else, it's about understanding that it's no coincidence. Why do you think that? Look, last week I read several of the songs that are most streamed 2023. I would categorize most of those songs in the ignorant category. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. So, unless you believe that coincidences can exist, there's a reason, and it's an intentional reason as to why that is. And it's about influencing people to make purchasing choices. That's kind of how I see it. So, these rappers or these people partner with these companies and they're selling stuff. Labels also partner with companies to sell stuff. It's all for the intent of being able to appeal to a large enough amount of people from a consumer standpoint to get them to not save money, not invest, not buy things that appreciate in over time, to not invest their money in appreciable assets, but rather to waste it on things that depreciate the moment that you buy them, because it makes the corporation money and gives you instant gratification. And like I said in the last topic that we discussed when it comes to Taylor Swift, because it is somewhat related, I personally believe that if you were to point out, I don't know what the exact number is. This is entirely anecdotal, so I'm kind of making this up. But I'm willing to bet that if you took 10 people and put them in a lineup, 7 or 8 of those 10 people you would probably classify as a conformist. So these targeted forms of marketing are meant to appeal to a large percentage of the population, because it has been proven that a large percentage of the population just needs to be exposed to one singular message that will make them act in a particular way. So when Kanye says that Cardi B is a plant, what he is referring to is this is a woman who is sort of being thrusted into mainstream consciousness for the purposes of selling a particular form of content to get people to buy certain things or act in a particular way that will, in a future, get them to buy things, because, you can sort of, correlate certain forms of behavior with one's propensity to consume certain things monetarily or behavioral wise. So that's where I think his comments make sense. Now, when it comes to the conspiracy stuff, I'll leave that to the people who have read more books or have gone down further rabbit holes, because I'm not that guy. And no shade or disrespect to those who have. I just don't know about that stuff. But I do think that on a baseline level, and I even studied this stuff in school, like there are targeted efforts by all manners of content, music, movies, television, that are not just about entertaining you, but are about getting you to act in a designed manner. And because most people are going to do it because they aren't going to gain the wherewithal to think for themselves, it's a largely effective strategy. And so that's where I think his comments have merit.
And the last thing I'll say is, whenever there's content out there, so which one is it feeding? Is it feeding the wolf inside of you, or is it feeding the angel inside of you? And one thing that Cardi B's music, Megan Thee Stallion, that WAP stuff, all that, Nicki Minaj and all that stuff, that is feeding the wolf in our people. It is feeding the wolf in everybody. And when they hear that, the women start to twerking, and the guys start looking for the girls that's twerking. They looking for the Suki Hondas in the sexy reds. So my thing is from there, once you can pinpoint what that music is trying to target and bring out of people, then at that point you can see that's why the labels put them in control. Because hey, as soon as there's some, whoop-de-whoop, that's, that mindset generally tends to follow and purchase. But if you think for yourself, you out the box a little bit, you can clearly see that Travis Kelce is not dating Taylor Swift. And then you would not consume their garbage because you fell into their little trap. So
buying jerseys and all of that. Yeah, like you said, his jerseys sales skyrocketed. Like, that's the point of the whole thing. It's not the
Bingo.
Come on, people. Like, we can't be the only ones who see this stuff. And I know that there's more people who see this, but apparently there's way more people who don't. Like, obviously, that situation between them two, one of the goals is, let's make this money. 400% increase in jersey sales. Mission accomplished.
Yes,
come on,
sir.
guys. We
Yes,
got to
sir.
see this stuff. We got to see this stuff. I know one industry. I know one corporate industry that has directly benefited from vagina rap, Cardi B, City Girls, Megan Thee Stallion, and all of this other stuff. Plastic surgery.
Oh boy. And her face looked done up again. I was like, girl, she done trimmed down her nose again. Boy, so she gonna look like Lil Kim in like 3 more years. Look out, y'all. With that little Kim dance.
BBL surgeons everywhere have ratchet rappers to thank for the exponential increase in their bank accounts. So hopefully they pay homage at some point.
Hard booty chicks. Kid Rock. What's with your hard booties? Soft booties, little booties. Where y'all at?
For real. Shouts out to Ye for the content. Shouts out to Ye. Oh boy.